The first step whenever there's a crime is to secure the crime scene. The police officer is usually the first one on scene, so that's the job of the police officer. More jobs of the police officer are to enforce laws, apprehend suspects, making sure the only CSI detectives and authorized personnel can come in and out of the crime scene, and just overall make sure that no evidence is tampered with. The police officer uses crime scene tape to secure the crime scene, and then does not touch the evidence. The CSI outfit consists of boot covers, a mask, and a full bodysuit. The bodysuit is called a bunny suit, and all of this is worn so not any outside DNA gets into the crime scene, so it's just a safe measure. The second step of processing a crime scene is to search the scene. In this, it's a large outdoor scene, so a CSI agent would use a spiral approach. After what is called a common approach path. The common approach path is so the evidence, the surrounding area of the evidence is not tampered with. So the CSI agent would usually step on plastic covers over the ground. We use a spiral approach because there's minimal obstacles, and the CSI agent is looking for a point of entry, any potential evidence, and once the CSI finds evidence, what might be evidence, they write down whatever they find. The third step to processing a crime scene is to take photographs. 4 photographs are taken of each piece of evidence: an overview shot, a mid-range shot, a close-up with scale, and a close-up without scale. An overview shot is pretty self-explanatory. It's just like the overview of where the item is in the crime scene, and then it gets a little bit closer, the mid-range shot, and then very close up. And then with the scale is to show relative size, and without the scale is to show that there's no underlying evidence beneath the scale. Photography is important because a crime scene cannot be secure forever. Say it's in a public area. A cop cannot secure a public area forever. The CSI agent has to be quick about it. Some evidence cannot be collected physically, so like blood spatter. You can't just pick up blood and collect a whole blood spatter. There's a fingerprint. CSI agents use dust. It depends what kind of surface it's on, but they use a certain type of dust, and they brush it, and then they use tape to put on the surface, and then take the fingerprint and put it on a fingerprint card, which is like a piece of paper, and then into an evidence bag. By the way, the poison was collected using a paper bindle, which is folded 9 times and then put into an evidence bag. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Powder. There was powder on the door handle, and that is collected in a vial using usually like a sharp edge, like a knife. Saliva is a bodily fluid, so it is put into a porous container, and yes, and then into an evidence bag. All evidence has a label on it, and that includes the case number, evidence number, the date, time, item description, case type, and the collector's name. And this is all safe measure for the chain of custody. Anybody who touches the evidence has to put their name and the date down, and that's put on an evidence label. And the chain of custody is important so nobody can challenge the evidence in court, so they know who's touched it and it has not been tampered with.
These are all the bags with their evidence labels, and then the seal on the back of them showing that they cannot be touched. The medical examiner will examine the body, and then at the lab will examine pictures and medical evidence to determine the probable time of death. The detective will interview anyone around that might be a witness and get their side of the story to make sure all clues are accounted for. A crime scene sketch is useful to make sure all of the parts of the crime scene are accounted for and to take measurements of where all the pieces of evidence are at the scene. There needs to be a key that has the labels of each evidence and what they are. There also needs to be the case number, the date, the address, and the artist in the crime scene sketch. There also needs to be a compass to ensure that the sketch is accurate. To make a crime scene sketch, you must draw the area and all the pieces of evidence where they are in the scene and where the body is in the scene. All the evidence and the body needs to be measured from the closest wall to them on both sides. So for the head, it is measured at D, and it is measured 6 feet to the wall where the door is, and 7 feet from where the head to the fence is.